It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.
Tom Arnold is hanging out with us, man. You've got so much history. We're just talking about comedians of the past and what made them great. And we also were talking about actors like John Amos.
Yeah, he was so awesome. And, and people go, well, I remember John Amos. He was on Good Times. But you got to remember before that, he worked stage a lot, and African American actors weren't allowed on TV really until the very late '60s, early '70s. So they crafted their work doing stage work. They got really good at it. And Marla Gibbs is also in the Tyler Perry thing, and that's how they started. And Esther Roll is one of the greatest actors America's ever seen. Period. So these great actors. So when the African American actors came on the sitcoms and things, they were so much more seasoned than the white actors, because the white actors could go right to TV. So these guys acted and they cared, and that's why Norman Lear, who would hire them, he knew he had great, and that's also why they had problems with, Dynamite. They were the arbiters of what is, there's a lot of names for it. What you call.
Buffoonery?
Buffoonery, and something that rhymes with that, which I've heard.
Coonery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I feel like we were playing $1,000 pyramid right there. Where's Dick Clark?
Sounds like.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But I get it. I get where they're coming from, because they have a lot of respect for what they do, their craft, and then they think they're doing a show that's really gonna. And then an ad lib becomes the show.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let's fast forward to 2012, because the Madea character Tyler Perry created had the same criticism for a long time, that it was coonery, buffoonery, and so when you took on this role, did you even approach that, or were you aware of that?
Well, I was aware of Spike Lee, having, but I like Spike Lee, but he has a problem with a lot of people doing a lot of things, and so. And it's also not my place to, I'm aware when there's, I'm Jewish. I'm aware when there's super Jewish stereotypes and stuff, which bugs me, because it's not, if it's all about that. So, I'm aware about the different types of stereotypes. I'd heard it. And then, but he kept being successful, and his audience, his audience is black, and and they love him, and the audience is not unlike, and I do my big redneck vacation shows for CMT, and that audience, although white, it's sort of the same audience. It's really socioeconomic. They aren't people. They're not people that have a ton of money or whatever. And so I love that audience, because I feel like that's kind of my audience. But I've never seen a Madea movie until I watched this one, and I wanted to work with him because I just want to see what was in his head. And then I watched this, and I thought, well, Madea she's pretty politically incorrect. She used to be a stripper, apparently, and a hooker. It's in the movie, and she does it. The thing I like is at the end, when they get the Jewish family into the church, when everything is saved, Madea is still on her front porch. And she's just done something pretty horrible. She's pretty illegal. As they're trying to, she'll save somebody if something's in it for her. And she's very handy with a weapon, and the banter back and forth. I enjoyed it.
You fell in love with Madea, I could tell.
A little bit, absolutely.
Tom Arnold is here with us. Tyler Perry, I have to I commend him on his his vision. I think the man is brilliant. Regardless of all the fallout, negative feedback he might have gotten throughout his career. He makes more money than you and a lot of other people in Hollywood.
And he did it. He could have. He was living in his car, and I know the story, but a little bit. Everybody knows the story, but he could have sold this script and then whatever. But he said, "No, I need to own ownership," which is what every culture needs. You need some freaking ownership. Now I will say that the Jewish people realized that a long time ago.
You guys own ownership. I think you created the word ownership. Somehow, So.
Well, they do it, because we don't know how things are going to go. If you're Jew, and especially if you're Europe, you don't know how things are going to go.
You gotta look out for each other,
exactly,
too.
Exactly.
So,
we're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
Tom Arnold, man, I want to thank you for coming by.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Sway.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.